And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm National Weather Service meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you on this Monday, July 17th, 2023. And if you'd like additional weather information, you can always go to weather.gov. That is the National Weather Service's online presence. It'll bring you a map of the continental U.S. with Alaska and Hawaii to the lower left. And you point and click anywhere on these maps and it'll bring up a forecast for a particular location with any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. Of note, this Monday afternoon, the islands of Hawaii, well, we have a early tropical storm. Kelvin is impacting the islands, and there is a tropical storm watch for the big island of Hawaii. Not expected to be a major system, but nevertheless an early tropical storm for this season. And looking at the rest of the map here, still have flood watches for the potential for flash flooding in the northeast. These gray areas indicate poor air quality as the result of Canadian wildfire smoke and or combination factoring in your surface level ozone, especially in metropolitan areas. Severe thunderstorm watches, western Ohio Valley into the middle Mississippi Valley. All of this orange are heat advisories, and then these magenta areas indicate excessive heat warnings. We have an ongoing heat wave here in the southwest U.S. We're entering week number 2 of triple-digit heat in many areas, so it's very dangerous, prolonged heat going on there in the southwest. Here in Alaska, we're watching the potential for scattered strong thunderstorms developing late this Monday afternoon and evening across east central areas of the mainland, including the Yukon Flats, down through the 40-mile Gold Country, Tanana Valley, eastern Alaska Range. Some of these storms could have heavy downpours, some frequent lightning, and even small hail and gusty winds. We had quite a bit of rain over the weekend over south central areas, anywhere from 1.5 inches to over 3 inches of rain fell in some areas that had some enhancement because of the terrain. And so rivers continue to rise. Your main stem rivers like the Susitna and Kenai, which are favorite spots for fishing and recreating this time of year, have higher and swift flows, and those water levels will continue to slowly rise here in the days ahead. In the northern panhandle, Suicide Basin Glacier Lake is still filling with meltwater. The forecast office at Juneau is keeping a close eye on that, but at this point it doesn't look yet like it's ready to release. And overall, we're going to see warming temperatures across the mainland through the latter half of this week, the upcoming weekend, into next week. And in some places that have been very cool this spring and summer, and I'll highlight those shortly. Looking at a couple of the FAA webcams this Monday afternoon in central, up there in the upper part of the Yukon River, we have partly cloudy skies, these puffy building cumulus clouds in the distance. That's a cumulonimbus or thunderhead. So we are expecting thunderstorms in that area. Skowentna in the Susitna, the west side of the Susitna River Basin, still has some lingering showers that extend across the Talkeetna Mountains, but a little bit of a northwesterly downslope flow off the Alaska Ranges warmed their temperatures so far into the mid-60s by early afternoon. And this area highlighted in the light grayish blue indicates a special weather statement for the possibilities of some scattered strong thunderstorms developing late this Monday afternoon and evening, some of which could have heavy downpours, some frequent lightning, maybe even some small hail and gusty winds. And fire danger as we go into Tuesday will remain low in those areas because of recent rainfall. And even though temperatures will warm in areas like, say, the Yukon Flats will get above 80 degrees, that's helping to drive some of that instability to cause those thunderstorms to develop. Overall, we're still seeing fire danger, but relatively low for this time of year. Normally, this is around the peak season of fire danger, and it's been very wet across the state of Alaska, very slow start. One season that is upon us, doesn't last too long, is the possibility of seeing noctilucent clouds. Now, what are noctilucent clouds? They are the Earth's highest clouds. They form 50 miles above the Earth's surface. It takes special conditions for that to happen. You have to have dust from meteors interacting with traces of water vapor or volcanic aerosols, and it forms these beautiful electric blue clouds. The season has been a slow one this year. There have been a few reports from time to time out of northern Europe, but not as extensive as in the past few years. But the potential for seeing the noctilucent clouds in Alaska runs from the latter half of July into the first half of August. The best time to look is after midnight. You need a sun angle where the sun is 12 to 18 degrees below the horizon. So that's after normal sunset time. And then it's at just the right angle to illuminate these high altitude clouds. A very beautiful sight if you've ever seen them. Now, looking at the satellite imagery, we still have showers and areas of rain lingering over south central, though not as widespread or as heavy as what we saw on Saturday and Sunday. We're also seeing scattered thunderstorms redeveloping British Columbia mountains on up into the Yukon and starting to extend into east central areas. So that'll be the case not just this Monday afternoon and evening, but again on Tuesday. Behind me, we have a frontal system that's bringing in warmer air from out of the North Pacific into the lower Bering Sea and across the Aleutian chain. And low pressure continues just to sit here east of Kodiak Island and here through the lower Gulf. You can see a scattering of clouds back up here through the interior with more in the way of clearing along areas of the west. Enjoy that as you can. It's been a rather cloudy spring and summer there. And as we go through late tonight into early on Tuesday morning, the low continues to just sit and spin here over the lower Gulf. And still some scattered showers continuing across areas eastern half of the mainland. And then behind me, the frontal system will work its way eastward and weaken and approach the YK deltas and the western coast there of the Seward Peninsula. This will bring in some areas of mainly light rain and rain showers for Tuesday night, later Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And as that system pushes inland, you will have a chance then of some showers there along areas of the west coast and into the west mainland. Still a trough of low pressure lingering here along the northern Gulf, and a little piece of energy. You're going to have some showers and move back into the Panhandle on Tuesday, and then Wednesday that impulse or energy is going to rotate back through the Kenai Peninsula, Anchorage Bowl, to bring some additional light rain or light rain showers as the actual parent low continues to slowly drift southeastward. It's going to take until later in the week ahead and this coming weekend into early next week for this area to really dry out more and start to warm up. Temperature-wise, lows are going to be in the 50s, low mid-50s for the Panhandle and south central areas for Tuesday morning. Because of the showers, more clouds back in here, highs only, many areas only lower mid-60s. Back here, maybe 70 at Talkeetna and Glen Allen. Across the Alaska Range, 76 at McGrath. It's going to be warmer on the west side of the Alaska Range. Wednesday morning lows, again, most areas low mid-50s. And then Wednesday afternoon temperatures will generally be in the 60s, a few 70-degree readings showing up in the Panhandle, and we could see a 70-degree reading again up toward parts of the Copper River Basin. Otherwise, generally 60s elsewhere in south central. In the far north, lows generally above 50 through along the Yukon River, and even close to 60 at Fort Yukon and at Fairbanks. Temperatures back here through the northwest coast and along the Seward Peninsula, generally in the upper 40s. Daytime highs will start to warm back up if you see any sun down through this region, Ambler south down toward Galena and McGrath. You're going to have temperatures in the 70s, some isolated 80-degree plus readings, Yukon Flats. And then again, temperatures very similar come Wednesday morning, maybe even a couple degrees warmer here, areas of the North Slope, Western Brooks Range. And then temperatures Wednesday afternoon could be back up still around or above 80 Yukon Flats toward the Alcan border around Eagle. Some temperatures warming in the 60s to around 70 here as we go along the North Slope back to the northwest coast. 50s near 60 here, parts of the Seward Peninsula. And then across the southwest, lows tonight, upper 40s to low 50s. Generally upper 40s along the Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula. With some sunshine on Tuesday afternoon, we expect some temperatures on the west side of the Alaska Range to get back up into the 70s. And then Wednesday morning, lows will generally be back down between the upper 40s to lower 50s. And on Wednesday afternoon, we could see temperatures again in the 70s just to the north and west of the Alaska Range. Though with the rain pushing into the west side here, it's going to keep cooler temperatures in the 50s and 60s. The extended forecast, this is what I wanted to show you, especially if you've been up here in the west central mainland, a place that's been very cool all spring and summer long. This area should start to see has a good chance of above normal temperatures centered on later this coming weekend and early next week. Could push you into the 70s, maybe even some 80-degree readings if you can get a lot of sun. Areas further south, the Panhandle will see near to below normal temperatures, as will the Alaska Peninsula out toward the eastern Aleutians. So Again, some of the warmest temperatures will be along the Yukon River, especially the middle Yukon Valley and the west central part of the mainland. Precipitation-wise, we do expect below normal, maybe drier conditions here for a change across the west and southwest, with a little above normal precipitation the eastern part of the mainland and to along the Alcan border in through the Panhandle. This would suggest some of the wetness could be caused by scattered showers and thunderstorms, but at least for those of you who have not had much in the way of summer-like temperatures, there is some hope for warmer temperatures here, especially by this weekend and early next week.